Well, at the moment, the president doesn't seem to care one way or the other whether he gets the IMF loan. I mean, that's the way he's behaving. They sometimes hint in his entourage that he could get money from the Gulf or China. Maybe he could. Maybe he already has. I don't know. But I mean, nothing will replace the IMF green light to get the green light from the IMF to get another loan. But the problem is that the IMF has been lending money to Tunisia since 2014. Every promise the Tunisian government, successive governments have made to the IMF in the last 9 years have been broken. And my contention from 2014 is that successive Tunisian governments have never had the slightest intention of respecting the IMF rules. So the problem is, why is the IMF, why is the West backing Tunisia? And I think there are 2 or 3 reasons, which are quite simple. One, Tunisia was deemed to be the only country in the Arab world progressing towards democracy. Right. So I never believed that. I didn't believe that from very, but they believed it. Many people believed it. And so they went along with this kind of illusion. Secondly, Tunisia is not, if you look at the world in the last 10 years, Tunisia is not the most important country. Its stability is important because if it goes belly up, I don't know what happens. But when you look at, we've got Ukraine at the moment, you've got all the crisis in the Middle East and the Gulf, everywhere. You've got crisis all over the world. So in a way, I think the West seems to be shrugging its shoulders and saying, oh, well, who cares? Tunisia's together. We'll just lend a bit of money and we'll keep the show on the road. But the problem is the show is going off the road. So I think there's a mixture of hypocrisy on the part, not just of the West, but also the Middle East. But there's also an ignorance of Tunisia, because I've known Tunisia, I'm 78, I've known Tunisia since I was 7. I know the country dearly, and I love Tunisia very, very much. But many people go to Tunisia, the coastal resorts in Tunis, and they think they know Tunisia. Tunisia may be only 12 million people. They are all Sunnis, so they're quite unified in a way. But Tunisia is very different from one region to another, from the north to the south. Tunisia, like any country, is a very complex country. And people go and they say, oh, yes, women are emancipated. Look at this, look at that. And you say, sure, women are emancipated, but they are not equal to men. Because if you start looking at the way Tunisian society functions, Tunisian society is very conservative, naturally, very, very conservative. It's tolerant, it's open. Because maybe like in the Gulf, if you're a trading nation, and Tunisia has been based on great trading ports, Sousse, Sfax, Tunis, since the Carthaginians, if you're trading, you tend to be tolerant and open because you're receiving foreigners. So, but Tunisia is a very complex country, and the lack of reform, the sheer incompetence, not just corruption, but the incompetence of President مرزوقي, of President Baji, of the current president, accumulate all the complications. It's a very layered, it's become so complicated. Some leading Tunisians I speak to don't even know where to start with the reform. So we're in a huge mess, and messes tend to end up in a bad way.